Jake do to get you guys through?
Wasn't good at all. They came out strong. Jake was unbelievable. We don't win that game, obviously, without Jakey tonight.
And then what happened after that? Seems like you guys picked up your game and got a little bit more intense.
Yeah, started playing a little better in the second and the third. Kind of got to our game, and once we did that, we were a little better.
At the start of the second period, you and Wyatt and Logan come out, and you have a extended shift in the offensive zone. Was that you trying to kind of set the tone for how y'all wanted to play?
I think it was just the message we got from Coach. Our first wasn't good at all. So that was just one shift of trying to build some momentum.
Jamie, before the series, you guys talked about you're building Stanley Cup habits. Your coach said one of those things was playing with the lead and shutting games down. How would you describe the way your team played after you took that lead?
I thought it was pretty good. We've played a lot of games up a goal or two, and we're comfortable in those situations, and I thought we did another great job tonight with it.
Did you guys feel a bit of deja vu down 0-1 going into tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we've 3 series in a row where lost the first game, and felt in the first round we could have won game 1 or 2, didn't go our way, but I like our second and third tonight, and we bounced back.
When you're coming into this game, do you think about 0-2 Vegas and the urgency to avoid getting back there?
No, I think about just winning this one.
I think there was about a 12-minute stretch after you guys take that lead that you didn't allow a shot. What goes into kind of completely denying the front of the net the way that you guys did?
Just playing the right way. Locking down the neutral zone. They got a great team, obviously, with great players. They can create a lot. You saw it in the first, and we took care of our own end and played much better.
Jamie, how gratifying is it that some of you guys that have been here so long, you and Tyler Seguin and Ryan Suter are the ones that are producing right now?
I mean, we're just trying to do our part for this team. We feel we've got a good group, and it's nice to get that win tonight.
What does it mean to give these home fans a win?
It means a lot. Nothing better than playing in front of these guys, and I feel like our record could be better at home, but it is what it is. Nothing we can do about it, but nice to get that one tonight.
What are you expecting from the environment in Edmonton?
Craziness. They got great fans up there, passionate about hockey, and we've seen a little bit of it on TV and some of the dance moves outside. So it's going to be an electric atmosphere, and looking forward to it.
When you look at the 5 guys who were on the ice for the Marchment goal, does that say a lot about this team? And I think basically depth players, quote unquote, and they really came through.
Yeah, once again, just shuffling the lines a little bit. We're pretty used to it, and most of the time it works out, and it did again tonight.
A lot of physicality in this game. Was that the message going in, to be more physical?
No, I think that's just playoff hockey. It's that time of year, and guys are doing whatever they can to win a hockey game.
The 5 on the ice for the game-winning goal, pretty much, depth players you included. Is that just kind of a message of what this team does?
Yeah, I think so. I think all year, someone different stepped up. I think that's the benefit of our team, right? The depth guys, Pete trusts everybody, so we were all working for it.
Delandria comes in, Petrovic. These are guys, and this is a huge moment.
Yeah, and it works good because you have a system that everyone knows, everyone's on top of. We all try to play the same way, so that helps.
Ryan, shots against were 16 in the first, 8 in the second, 5 in the third. What did you do better?
Well, Otts saved us. He kept us in that game. We didn't have a lot going. We were turning a lot of pucks over. I thought as the game went on, we got better at playing in their end. Their goalie played great. He had some big stops for them. Yeah.
What can you say about the resolve of this team to even the series once again? Just feels like we say it every time.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of character in here. You got a lot of young guys that are playing hard for us old guys, and a lot of old guys that are playing hard for the young guys. So just everyone's bought in. Nothing really phases us. You get down 2, you find a way to come back, and you have a bad period, you know you got to have a good one.
How nice is it that the old guys are the ones producing right now, Benn, Sagan, yourself?
I think whoever, I mean, that doesn't really matter. I think at the end of the day, it's about the wins, and no one really cares. No one really looks at the score sheet after the game. I think guys are, you know, pumping each other up about block shots and things like that right now.
Ryan, what did you sense about the urgency of not going down 0-2 again?
Yeah, that was huge. We talked about it before the game, and then to have that first period was tough. But like I said, Otter kept us in that game and gave us a chance to get to our game. Yeah, it was big. It's tough to come back from 2-0 for sure.
And then what's the confidence of now going back on the road where you're 5-1?
Yeah, but you have to play the right way. Obviously, they got a great team. You can't give them much. They take advantage of whatever turnovers or whatever you give them. So, you know, it's a simple game for us, knowing who's on the ice for them and playing the right way.
Can you take us through the game winner, what you saw? It looks like you're shooting to the stick on that.
Yeah, I think as a defenseman, you're just trying to get pucks down there to your guys. You're almost shooting at your guys. You know, it's hard to score a goal from up high like that. So I think you want to get it past that first guy and then put it towards somebody.
You talk a lot about how Jamie leads in the room, but in the start of the second period, he comes out and his line has that great shift in the offensive zone. What kind of example does that set for the room? Does it change the tone at all of how you want to play the rest of the game? Yeah,
we talked about it after that first period that we need to get a forecheck going, and sure enough, that line went out and did it. Got that momentum going for us. They created some chances and led to some, you know, chances for us, some high-quality chances.
Pete, what was the difference between the first period and the second and third?
You know, I think the first period, for whatever reason, we were tentative. You know, we had talked about playing with a Game 7 mindset, and I think our intentions were in the right place, but, you know, we looked like we were just, you know, we were waiting for something to happen, and I thought we kind of regrouped at the end of the first and you know, decided to get to our game. And I thought I loved the second and third. I thought we were excellent.
We'll go front right to Taylor.
Hi, Pete. You talk a lot throughout the year about how Jamie Benn is the leader of this team in the locker room. He came out and had that shift early in the second. Him, Logan, Wyatt, lots of cycle time in the ozone. How important was it, or what kind of message did that send to the rest of your group as a kind of tone reset for you?
Yeah, he's led the way, you know, all year, and particularly in the playoffs. I think he's found another level for us. He's been great, you know, and those two kids energize him, and you know, he's been a beast out there every series we've been in, you know, and he's changed the momentum of, you know, each of the series in different ways. You know, a couple huge hits in the Vegas series. I think in the Colorado series, it was you know, a huge goal here or a big play, big block. You know, and then tonight, you know, just getting that line going and getting some ozone time, because we had spent the entire first period, I felt, in our own end. So, you know, that was kind of setting the tone for the other forward lines. Like, you know, this is how we need to play.
Center left, Ryan.
You just talked. Hey, Pete, you just talked about how you liked the second and the third.
Yeah.
What do you think it was specifically about the third where you were able to limit them to not only 5 shots, but they never could really look settled, especially in the final 2 minutes when, for a little bit, they had a 6-on-4?
Yeah. Well, I think obviously getting the lead, you know, it was critical. I mean, that allows you to stay above them and manage the puck and not try and push outside your comfort zone trying to score, you know. And I think, you know, since I guess it would have been Game 1 against Colorado when we blew the 3-0 lead, I think we've been kind of really locked in those situations. We've done a really good job.
Front right, Leah.
Hey, Pete. Jake's had a lot of great performances in the playoffs, but what about tonight stuck out to you?
Solid. I mean, if
you know, if he doesn't play the way he does in the first, we're in a big hole and we might not get out of it. So, you know, he was our best player tonight, and he allowed us to kind of weather the storm in the first, get our legs under us, and find a way to get control of that game.
We'll go to the back left.
Pete, we've talked a lot about big-name veterans kind of embracing lesser roles this year. How gratifying as a coach is it to see Benn, Sagan, Suter? They're the ones that are producing and coming big right now.
Yeah, all those guys. Those guys are leading the way. I mean, we talked post-game. We got huge blocks down the stretch from, you know, Heiskanen, Suter, Pavelski, Tanev, you know, some big block shots at key times. So, you know, those guys are laying it on the line every night for us. They're not just producing, but, you know, they're committed to do whatever they have to do to try and help us win.
We'll stay on the left, Sean.
And Sean.
Hey, Pete. You talked before the series started about Stanley Cup habits, and when I asked you what those were, you said specifically kind of shutting down games just like this. So, you know, you go a stretch of that third period, 12 minutes without allowing a shot. How much is that game to you just the culmination of a year's worth of hard work by you, your staff, and your team?
For sure. You know, that's the details that you start on in training camp, and you find a way to hold each other accountable all year, you know, and it hasn't been easy. We've had some blips, you know. We blew a big lead in the Colorado series in Game 1, and in Game 2 we almost blew a 4-0 lead. So, you know, it hasn't been all perfect, but I think we've learned from those situations, and you know, we seem to be really comfortable right now, you know, when we get in those spots.
We'll take a few more. Second row on the right.
Hi, Pete. You've just touched on how you were able to really shut it down after you guys took the lead for good in the third period. But specifically, they're big guys, the Oilers' big guys, who scored all of the goals in Game 1, got nothing this time.
Yeah.
What did you specifically change to accomplish that?
Yeah. You know what, I just think we played better. I mean, you know, minus the first period, you know, I thought they kind of, you know, we gave them too much room, too much time, allowed them to dictate play in our end in the first period, and I thought once we changed that, you know, I thought, you know, the rest of our game kind of followed, and when we're playing the way we did in the second and third, when we're in the offensive zone, when we're on top of you, when we're closing quickly, when we're managing the puck, you know, there's not a lot of room out there. We're a tough team to play against for good players, and you know, we've done it. You know, we did it to the Colorado big guys for good stretches, and we did it to the Vegas big guys for good stretches. It's you know, easier said than done, but we got to do it again in Game 3 and again in Game 4.
Second row on the right, Mike.
Hey Pete. We've talked so much about the depth players. Delandria comes in. Petrovic is on the. They're both out there for the game-winning goal. What kind of mental strength does it take to just do that, and then when you get your opportunity, jump? Yeah. Well, we've talked about the importance of our depth, and you know, I have no problem going to a guy like Delhi who hasn't played since, I think, Game 1 of the Colorado series, or Game 2. So, you know, and you know, we've got some other guys close to, you know, Rupe is really close to coming back. So, you know, we've got some tough decisions to make, but I think our group understands and has accepted the fact that, you know, if they're in, they're going to give us everything they have, and if they're not, they're going to be ready, you know, for when they do get called.
We'll take two more. The back left.
Hey, Pete, you guys have been so good on the road in this playoff run. When Jamie was asked what he's expecting in Edmonton, he said craziness. Yeah. What are your expectations of what's waiting for you in Game 3 in that atmosphere? Yeah, for sure. But, you know, is it any crazier than Vegas on the road or Colorado on the road? You know, it's another really tough rink with great fans, with a great team. So, you know, we've got a formula that works for us. We've got to go out there and do it again.
Last question, center right.
Pete, your group seems like one that doesn't get too high or it doesn't get too low. It kind of just weathers and stays level. How do you how would you identify the origin for that sort of resolve and personality of your team? How do you develop that?
I think it's a leadership. You know, I think when you look at the personalities of our leaders, you know, Jamie Benn, Joe Pavelski, Tyler Seguin,
ultra competitive people, but in an understated way. They're not riding those emotional waves. They've been around long enough that they get that that's not going to be productive. So that's all leadership in our dressing room.
Jake, we'll start with you. A performance like this, where you're busy early, often, and frequent, how hard or easy is it for you to not only stay in rhythm, but know, like, hey, you're a big part of why this game is level before your team wins?
Yeah, I think I've said multiple times, like, you'd rather be getting work than, just sitting there, and then all of a sudden you get 2-on-1s or breakaways and stuff. Sometimes those are, even harder. The games you get 16 shots and 16 chances compared to, 40 shots. So you can never pick, obviously, what type of workload you're going to get. But, just staying in it and feeling good. And, sometimes those are even easier than the ones with not a lot of work.
We'll go front right to Taylor.
Mason, you guys talk a lot about Jamie Benn and his leadership in the room, but how important was it for him to come out in the start of that second period with that shift he had and kind of reset the tone for the guys after that first period?
Yeah, it's he's our leader, right? So when he sets that kind of pace for us, everyone wants to step over the ice and follow that. So he's an unbelievable leader, unbelievable person. So he's easy to follow.
Front left, Josh.
Mason, just following up on that, what was the difference for your group apart from Jamie's shift there in the second period? They carried the play a lot in the first, and you guys really pushed back.
Yeah, I just don't think we were good enough in the first, and Jakey stood on his head and made some massive saves and allowed us to kind of get our feet wet maybe after the first period, and I thought after that we kind of took over and started playing our game, playing low, getting pucks in. And, I thought for the rest of the game, we did a great job.
Fourth row on the right. Oh, sorry. Do you have another question?
There's a couple things said, but, I think everyone in there knew that, we had to be better.
Center right.
Hey, Mason, you thought you had a game winner in Colorado. How did it feel to get this one tonight?
Yeah. It feels good. There's not many better feelings than scoring in the playoff game. So, we'll take that one and forget about it and move on to the next one, right? So, we got a big game coming up, so worry about that.
Talk time and time again about how you bounce back from these playoff losses. How does that continue to build for you?
Yeah, I think as a whole, I think that's what playoffs is all about, and it's not always going to go your way every night, and it's just about not letting it be 2 nights in a row, and everyone's got to respond, not just me, and I think it's not just me that's responded, it's the group in front of me and the guys, and it's just the leadership from the top down that kind of starts that and knows how to bounce back after a loss in the playoffs.
Second row on the right.
Mason, this probably didn't go the way you drew it up, but once after you scored, there was hardly anything that Edmonton was able to create near your net. How did you guys get those big names shut down? Well, didn't get any shots.
I didn't hear you at the end there. I think that's just from experience. We've been in this position a lot, so the last year and this year. So once we get that lead, we have to play the right way, and I think we did tonight. So once we get that go-ahead goal, everyone was doing the right things at the right time, and that's what we need to win games, right?
We'll go center left to Sean.
This is for Jake, but building on what Mason just said, doing the right things. I think there was a 12-minute stretch there after you guys took the lead. They didn't get a shot. A lot of shooting lanes shut down. What are you seeing from your perspective that is leading to that?
Yeah, I think just doing things the right way, and those 50-50 battles or pucks. I think guys are just choosing to be on the D side, and when you have the best player of all time probably on the other side, those are the decisions that can make or break him scoring or not, and it's a group effort to defend a guy like that, and we all did that, and those blocks, the sticks and lanes, all that stuff that we did. That's what you need to win, and we've done that when we've gotten leads, and it's going to be critical. Hopefully, we're in that position again a lot more.
And Mason, just if you could, your take on Jake's performance tonight.
He was awesome. He was awesome. A couple of huge saves. He's talking out there. He's competing. I love Jakey. So he's a hell of a guy, hell of a player. So it's awesome to see him play so well, and the boys love him. So
second row on the right, Mike.
Hey Mason. We've talked about depth all year. That was a great depth group that scored the game-winning goal. What's it like to have guys like Delandria, Petrovic be a part of something like that, when they've just come into the lineup?
Yeah, for sure. I think, our team's so deep, right? And anyone can play anywhere from top to bottom. Anyone can play against anyone. I think tonight that was, it didn't matter who was out there. We were competing, and, everyone to maybe not in the first as much, but in the second and third for sure. It's those guys have been playing great and playing their role, and that's what we need them to do.
We'll take two more. Center on the right.
This could be for either of you. When you have a first period like that with the back and forth goals there within a minute of each other, and then just the kind of the pressure that Edmonton had throughout that first period, what do you think it says about the resolve or maturity in the locker room to be able to withstand that emotionally in this sort of atmosphere?
Yeah, I think the boys in here, we really like each other, and everyone wants to work for each other. I think, like you said, they had a really good first period, and they came out hard, and we needed to respond, and we talked about it in the first intermission, and we came out and we did it, right? So I think everyone here cares a lot, and it's going to take everyone to win.
Last one, center left, Ryan.
This is for either one of you. You limit Edmonton to 5 shots in that final period. How important was it to not only do that, but what were some of those things you all did as a group that forced them to not only get such a limited amount of shots, but they never really got settled and could find comfort in a way?
I think we just got to our game. I mean, when we play our game, we're a hard team to play against. When we do the right things at the right times, I think for the most part, I think when we compete, it's hard to play against us, and they're great. Like Jake said, he's the best player in the world, right? So it's going to take a full team effort, and I thought for the most part we did a great job tonight.